Hello there. How are you this evening? This is your girl Valerie Mason Chase. And come on, Cookie Man.
Cookie Man.
Cookie Man. Listen, if you see him looking down occasionally,
I apologize.
He's got his phone down here. He's checking the scores of some of the football games that's going on. So welcome to this episode of Marriage Beyond the Breach. And babe, what we talking about tonight?
Q&A.
What that mean?
Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, you
Question-A. I'll try to be smart.
It's not T&A.
No, it can't be T&A.
Q&A.
Questions and answers regarding relationships.
Yes,
not Q&A, not T&A, Q&A.
Not this time.
Yeah. See, I say Q, but he heard T. That's that filter that sometimes your words go through when partners are talking to each other. Sometimes they don't hear what comes out of your mouth. What was that? Who was that? That comedian, Jackie Chan said, "Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?"
That'd be her.
So anyway, you're gonna have a Q&A because sometimes, couples have questions about relationships, or even if it's a single person wanting to know from married people how we navigate our relationship and some of the things that we face. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Trish Maury. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate that so much. So we're going to get into it, but without further ado, let me introduce some of our panelists who are here with us tonight. I've got my beautiful daughter. Hey, boo-boo, darling.
Hello, mother.
Well, you can see she's really thrilled to be here tonight.
Now you see, it just doesn't fail.
What?
No matter what, with the grandchildren, even our children now.
What?
I know you said your beautiful daughter. She said, hello, mother.
Because her mother is the one who addressed her.
But I'm sitting here, too. She could have said, oh, it's hello, dad.
Hello, parental units.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, baby. And I have the most amazing power couple, my nephew and his beautiful, bodacious wife, Rock and Toya Davis.
Hey.
All right. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Jackie.
I know how you feel, Uncle Frank. I get
yeah.
That's actually not true because they ignore me.
We walk through the door.
And it's just him.
Hi, Mom. I'm like,
no, that's not true.
I'm not here.
No, I'll get the hello through the doors, but when all the gifts are given and everything, it's thank you, Mamu. Thank you, Mamu. What did you do, Mamu? I'm like, what the heck? Go on. Go on.
It's probably because I'm more visible and I interact a little bit more.
Okay.
I sound like another show. Unappreciative dad.
There you go. You hurt my feelings.
That's right. That's another show. Yeah, you're right about
Daddy
that.
feelings count.
You have to talk about that. So there were some questions that some people emailed into me. And if you're here, actually, I should put it up. If you have a question, but you don't want to put it in the chat, you can send it to me via email and I'll ask the question anonymously. Let me just put this up right quick. I apologize for that because I should have had that up already, but I don't. So I got to put it up now. So now I got to add it and I'm figuring out how to do it while I'm online. But, there we are. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 minute. Hang on 1 minute. And I'm a 2-finger typist, so it's going to take a minute. Look at my daughter. Beyond the breach. Did I spell it right?
What's that line under there for?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anywho, there was one question that someone asked. Let me see if I could show this now. Okay. There it is. Valerie at marriagebeyondthebreach.com. If you have a question, and actually, even if you're watching later and you have a question, you can always send it in, and myself and our illustrious panelists will address that question. So someone was asking, they said, I hear a lot of talk about healthy relationships. They want to know, what does that look like? So Rock and Toya, I'm going to toss it to you guys.
Okay. What does healthy relationship look like? I think it's definitely when your partner brings you peace of mind. Also, I think there's also balance, right? So there's some days where I choose to get on Toya's nerves.
Mm. Okay.
That's not true. It's every day. It's not like it's just every day.
Okay. See, if I don't get on her nerves, I feel like our marriage would be a little boring.
Mm.
So, you know, I do and create things to get on her nerves, but at the same time, I make her laugh.
Okay.
So we spend, we really don't argue, we don't really fuss, or we don't fight. So we've created, in a sense, where we could really, like, she's really my piece. I tell people that all the time. Like, this is the first relationship I ever been in where I had a woman who intentionally brought peace to my life. You know? And so I think I do the same for her in terms of what security looks like, and making her laugh and protecting our family in each and every way. And so that creates a healthy relationship. We're not in positions where we have to argue about anything. Another thing is honesty. I'm super big on that. Like, you know, this is my partner in life, so I don't feel like there's nothing that I can't tell her, and vice versa. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, a healthy relationship is basically knowing what you want in your partner and not settling for anything less. You start to have issues and resentment and things like that you know, cause problems in your relationship. He said communication is very important, and also being able to listen and actually attentively listen to what your partner has to say, trying to understand. So that's very important. And also someone who pours into you just as much as you pour into them. A lot of times relationships can be one-sided, and one person is doing a lot. You know, it's not always going to be 50-50. It might be 100, 0%. It might be 90, 10%. As long as you, like he said, you're balancing each other. And, you know, and you have to work at it every day. I think that, you know, some people say, oh, it's so hard or it's super easy. Whatever it is that you have to do to maintain your relationship, you have to do it on a daily basis.
Okay.
I think that keeps the relationship healthy.
Yeah. Boo Boo darling, what will you add to that?
The only thing I would add, I guess, it's a relationship where you're bringing out the best in each other, and they're allowing, that person is allowing you to be or to become the best version of yourself. Also, you know, realizing that, you know, not everybody stays the same. You know, things change, people change, situations change, and, you know, growing together with that change, as opposed to, okay, well, you know, maybe this was your favorite thing 10 years ago, but it's not now. So why, you know, realizing that, you know, situations change, things change. That's really it. I mean, they said everything else about, you know, communication and, you know, realizing it's not always going to be 50-50. And even with that, let's say, you know, your dynamic is, you know, one person does 75% of something, the other person does 25, knowing that, you know, that's what you guys have agreed on and that's what you're going to move forward with, then that could be healthy. You know, some relationships, it is where one person does more of one thing as opposed to the other person, but that's what they've agreed on and that's what works for them.
I think that last thing Sadell said, I think that is just something that happens in a relationship. One or the other is better adapting to doing things compared to the other. Like with me and Val, your mother's into the traveling thing. I'm just like, okay, let me pack my suitcase. I'm ready to go. But that's what she likes to do now.
Wait, hold on.
The problem that we have, hold on, excuse me, let me finish. The problem that we run into sometimes is she has asked me to take more of a lead in that.
Mhm.
And as I struggle
Mhm.
because it's something I really never did,
Mhm.
really don't like to do, but I try
Mhm.
to. Well, I don't know how much I try, but
See, and that's what I was gonna say. If even realizing in that situation that
Right.
she's better at this, if she does say, okay, I would like for you to do X, Y, and Z. If you actually put forth the effort and try your best, she can't get mad at the results.
What?
Knowing that this is not your no, that's what I'm saying. No.
I
As long as
agree.
you actually really do try, you can't half-ass it. If you half-ass
Yeah.
it, then that's different.
But
But if you
what
really
comes?
put forth the effort, it's not your strong suit, so she can
Yeah.
at least recognize that you did try, and eventually, yes, she's probably gonna take over and finish it anyway. But
But
it's
so,
up to you to actually put forth a real, true effort, and not just kind of say, "Oh, I kind of tried." Be happy with
Right.
with
Right. Yeah.
but who's to say what's true? A true effort. I might feel I gave my best effort.
Well, who's
On
to
the
say?
other hand,
Moi?
Val might say, "Well, Frank, you like you just said, Snell, you half-assed it," and get upset. But I don't look at it as half. I did.
Well,
My-
somebody that's been together as long as the two of you, she knows when you doing something for real and when you're not.
Yeah, but he's stepping into something new. So
Yeah.
to me, a half-ass is a try.
Oh,
that beats a zero.
It beats a zero.
Which is
Hold on. Let me speak. A half-ass is a try. The thing is, when someone steps into something new,
yeah.
and it's not going to always be to the person's expectations.
Yes.
I agree with that.
It
I
should
agree with that.
be.
Mm.
So
Right,
me
right.
trying, my level of trying was she told me, I want you to open the door for me when we get in the car.
Mhm.
So I really
all the time.
All the time.
I really had to make a conscious effort. I'm like, all right, she does a lot for me. So if she's asking me to do that, why can't I?
Mm.
Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget. Now lately, have I forgotten?
You haven't forgotten lately.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, like I know that cooking is my realm.
Yes.
As tired as I am or as sick as I might be, I am not asking him to cook. Like,
right.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made it clear.
It's not his thing.
Not my thing.
Now, if he consciously made an effort on his own because he saw, you know what, she's tired, but he'll order food, he'll bring food, and that's his way of saying, you know what, babe,
yes.
So to me, that's his effort. He doesn't have to do it the way I do it.
The way you do it.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. And the first, I want to give a quick shout out to Jackie, Nisi, and my girl Vanessa. And thank you guys so much for watching. But before, when I was attempting to interrupt him, which is rude, I admit that, and it's something that we struggle with in our relationship.
Yeah.
When he said, "Oh, I just pack my bag and go," Negro, please. Half the time when I want to go somewhere or I planned the trip and I asked him about going, nah, I don't want to go. I don't feel like going.
Okay.
Oh, this excuse has been removed. I ain't got no time to take off and blah, blah, blah. Right? But I can't say.
Congratulations, Uncle Fred.
Yes.
Over the last couple of years, he's gotten a little better over the last couple of years. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
See, and something like that's a personality change. Like if he is not somebody that travels, like if he's a homebody, he's a homebody. But like you said, over the past couple of years, he's
gotten better.
Something like, cooking for somebody or opening the door, that's a physical act that you can actually do. It's not really changing who you are as a person, in my opinion. Something like that is more of a personality shift, because I'm going from being this person who wants to stay at home to now being this person who is traveling more often and going to other states and going to other countries, as opposed to here, let me just physically open this door, but I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
So that might take a little bit more.
I just want to add a little something to that initial question that the person asked about a healthy relationship. And it kind of piggybacks on some things that you all said already. And I think part of a healthy relationship is creating a safe space for your partner. And Rock, you said that with you and Toya, hey, Shasha, you should be able to say absolutely anything to your wife. And that is so true. But in order for that to happen, there has to be a safe space created so that both partners can feel comfortable in sharing that. So I think that's a huge component of a healthy relationship. And so tonight, for those of you who may just be coming on, tonight we're doing a relationship Q&A. Some people have already sent in questions. If you have a question that you want to ask, you can put it in the chat. If you have a question that you want to be read anonymously, you can send it to the email address that's on the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it, but I won't say who it's from. So somebody asked, they wanted to know, what are some of the things that you love and hate about your spouse? And they were asking us specifically, but you guys can also join in. So how would you answer that?
I don't know. Hate is just such a strong word. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to sit here and say there are things I hate about my spouse, about Valerie. Mm-hmm. Are there some things that get me pissed off and maybe I don't like? Of course, when you got any kind of relationship, especially one as long as ours, you're going to dislike some things and get pissed off. But to say hate, I can't think of anything that I could attach the word hate to.
Okay, but what you love? Get to the other part.
See, I hate that. No, just kidding. But of course, there are mountains of things that I love, and they, oh my gosh, if I started talking about the things I love, we could be here till the Giant game come on at 8 o'clock.
Oh, so that's a reminder. I thought they're playing on Monday.
No, they play Monday.
Well, there's still an 8 o'clock game. Anyway, there are just so many things, and I guess, put it in a capsule by just saying it's Val's heart, because everything comes from there. So when something comes from the heart, how can you not dislike it?
I mean, how can you not love it?
Well, how can you not love it or dislike it? Sure. So again, to reiterate, everything that I like and love about Val comes from her heart. Being a mother, being a wife, being a grandmother, just being a person who has been there for everyone, whether it's a word or a deed or anything like that. Like I said, I can go on and on. So hate doesn't factor in for us.
So is there something about me that you kind of sort of don't like? What
when you interrupt me. that's high on the list.
That's high on the list.
Now, see, what I'm gonna say now is kind of funny. But what I dislike, what I really dislike, honey, could you go get me so and so? It's on the counter. Now I go to the counter, it's not there. It's probably on the 5th place I look, and then she's gonna ask me, well, how come you didn't find it? Well, you sent me to the counter, and it's not there. And then you're gonna come out behind me to look because you didn't think I looked hard enough. And
that sounds so familiar.
And there it is over there. Now you just sent me all when honey, is there anything you want? No, I come and lay down. Oh, babe, could you get up and get so and so? Wait a minute, why didn't you ask me when I was in the kitchen? You're gonna wait till I lay down to get.
All right, that's enough. I had to ask, right? I had to ask. So, and I'm gonna answer that, but I want to welcome Andre, and I want to Jacqueline Finch. Hey, sis, I love you, Jackie. So, anywho, some things I love about my husband. One of the things, and like you said, between the two of us, there are many things. There are many things I love about my husband. But one of the main things I love about my husband is that I'm gonna tell you, that you are very family oriented. You love hard on your family, our children, our grandchildren, and I really, really love that about you. Okay. I also love that even when we are having difficult times, even when we were separated, you always found a way to let me know that you still love me. even in the midst of our separation.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Mhm.
Something I won't say hate, that I don't like.
Mhm.
Probably sometimes you say no real quick.
Well, I'm working on it. Yeah.
You're working on it. Well, he doesn't say it as much as he used to, but
And
yeah, that was your go-to response.
And real quick, for me, saying no was easy because some of the things Val might ask that required a yes meant for me to put forth some effort that I wasn't used to, didn't want to, or didn't like, or was sometime afraid to do because I felt I wouldn't do it up to her expectations, which I shouldn't hold that against myself, or I would fail. So it was kind of easy just to say no, or to even say yes, and it kind of drift into the background, hoping it'd be forgotten or something like that, until she asked me 10 more times.
So anyway, for those who are just coming on, we're doing a relationship Q&A. I'm trying to see if there's some remarks I want to put up.
No.
You can put any questions in the chat, or you can send your questions to the email address that's on the bottom of the screen, and I'll read it without attaching it to anyone's name. So it'll be read anonymously. So Rock and Toya, do you guys want to tackle that question? What do you love or dislike about your spouse?
Babe, you go first.
I'll go first. So, I mean, I guess this is pretty obvious, but I love how he loves me. I mean, it's a beautiful feeling when you finally have it and receive it, and you can feel it, see it. You know, the way he supports me when I'm not in a room. You know, it's just an amazing thing for your partner to just love and support you that much, even when you're not around. Like you said, he's family oriented, and that was something that was very important to me. And my extended family, he brought me into this loving family, and it's just amazing. And I love the protector that he is. That's just a given. And then one thing is that he's such a great listener and advice giver to everyone. And he just knows how to word it and just put people in their right spirit, state of mind. Everyone, they call him, I just need advice, I just need an ear, and he's just that go-to person. So that's just, I love that about him, that anyone could call on him at any time. Things that I really dislike, and this is a pet peeve of mine. He balls his socks up in the laundry, so every single pair of socks I have to literally untangle. It's a huge pet peeve, and I always ask him, babe, just throw your socks in the laundry. So that's a huge pet peeve of mine. Another pet peeve of mine, he doesn't want me to drive our car the way he drives the car. So when he's going 90, 95, it's okay. But when I do it, it's like, oh, hold up. I don't like that. You can drive too. Okay, I got that. Okay, that's it.
I'm a little professional on that.
Oh.
All right, so the things that I love, my wife is truly a gem. She's truly a gem. What I said earlier, one of the things that I love, that she really intentionally brings me peace. That's not something that you hear a lot of men say.
That's true. Yeah.
When your woman intentionally does things to love on you and show you appreciation, she always shows me how much she appreciates me. Another thing I loved about her, I love her hustle. Between having, two businesses, being a mother, being a wife, and she juggles those things, so effortlessly is it's a turn on. It's almost a turn on. Like, some days she'll get dressed up because she has to do her Zoom meeting, and I'm like,
But hurry up and finish that meeting, baby.
And so the things I don't like. So one of the things that I love my wife, she knows, but she has this thing where she listen and don't listen. So if I say something and I'll be like, "No, babe, it's okay," and she'll be like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "No, babe." I said, "It's all right. It's all right." She'll double back, come back around. "You sure?" Like, the first 2-3 times, it's okay, and then she'll do it anyway.
No.
Yeah, hear the things we don't like, right? That's the only thing That's the only thing that annoys me.
Beautiful.
That's it. Oh, thank you, baby. She is a habitual repeater. She will tell me the same thing. Or, babe, my leg hurts. I'm like, okay, let's get something, make it better. Babe, my leg hurts. She'll say it different ways so it wouldn't sound like the first way she said. I'm like, okay,
different words.
CVS. But no, that's really, that's not really it's just something that we laugh at.
Yeah, that's funny.
She's pretty great.
Okay. Boo Boo darling,
Yo.
what do you love and dislike about your spouse?
Well, I'm gonna go a different route because everybody, we all talk about loving on you and all that stuff. The one thing I love about Jen, I can honestly say, is that she's a big old nerd. And I say that with all the love and care in the world, because I am a 40-year-old woman who watches anime, who watches cartoons. I'll go to the movies to go see Paw Patrol and have no kids with me. And, she's the same type of person. So to be, where we, a 40-year-old Black woman who found somebody who is into the same exact thing, that's pretty dope. I like that. Like in the living room, we have drawings that we got at a Comic-Con. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but like I said, because that's a big part of who I am. I like animation and kids things. I work with kids. It's a big part of my life, and being able to relate to kids, to have somebody that can also do that and use that to relate to the kids that are in my life and the kids that I work with and deal with. Yeah. That's a big thing. So I can say that. Dislike. And I it's not even specific to her. It's I forget what it's called. It's like misophonia or something, but it's like where sounds like cause a physical reaction in you. So the sound of people chewing with their mouth open, and she's a mouth chewer, like and sometimes I don't even have to look at her. She can see my shoulders tense up, and it's not that she does it on purpose, but that's just how she does. But like I said, it's not really specific to her. It's just anybody in general. What she does that drives me up a wall is leave stuff in her pockets when she does laundry. She works at an automotive shop. Now, she's not a mechanic. She's not a tire tech. However, I can't tell you how many sockets and wrenches and torques, and I don't know what the hell everything is called, end up in the pockets, in the wash, on top of the pens and everything. I'm just like, just come home, empty your pockets. Get into routine, empty your pockets. Okay, babe, I got it. A week later, you hear dum, 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 dum. Like, what is that noise? She done left something else in her damn pocket. Like, it just drives me bonkers. But
thank you guys.
It's nothing that I can say I hate. Just little stuff that is just like drives me bonkers. But other than that, I can't really say a whole lot. Oh, and she's loud. But she's. I don't want to sound racist, but she's Puerto Rican, and her family, her whole family's loud. So I'll say, because for me, because sometimes loud is a trigger for me, and I shut down. So then when she is here, then I start to go here, and so that's a whole nother issue. But she has been working on the volume and recognizing when I'm kind of shrinking back. It's like, okay, you're becoming larger than life. Kind of bring it down a little bit. Yeah, she has gotten better with that.
Well, thank you guys for sharing that with us. Dr. Danita, welcome. She is royal. I think that's Crystal.
Can I say, in all fairness, my socks are pretty expensive. but I like them together. You know,
Because you don't want to
one
lose
pack
it.
and then you have one sock. It's like,
They have to be separated to be washed anyway.
Yeah. And Nicole, thank you for watching. And again, before you read the question that was sent in, I want to put up Jackie's question.
Mhm.
And if anybody else has a question that you want us to read, you could put it in the chat or you could send it to the email. I'll put that email address back up in a moment. Jackie's question is, how do you know you are on the right track with the person in the beginning so that you don't invest in the relationship that's not for you? That's a great
tough
question.
That's a
No, but that's a great question.
It's a great question, but I think it's tough if I can continue talking
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
when you say before you invest in any relationship, you're going to invest something. Now,
Yes.
maybe it's a week, a month, or two. So
Yeah.
I guess for that person, maybe you go into it saying, oh, but how can you even go into a situation saying, I'm going to give it 2 months to see if this is going to work?
Yeah. Well, I think if you go into it after you've met someone and gone on at least a couple of dates with them, and you're saying, I'm going to give it a couple of months, that's already a red flag.
Okay.
Because they're, from my perspective anyway, because there is something about that individual that kind of says maybe this is not the right person. And there's some things that I have to look for. I think most people, after a few dates, can tell with some degree of certainty whether or not this person is suitable to continue dating. Now, again, I think it's something we talked about in one of our previous sessions, is that a lot of people present their representative, right? Who you don't meet typically for 6 months or so. But I think even in that, there's going to be some bit of the real person that shines through, because it's hard to pretend to be something and someone that you're not.
So I guess for me, then the question is, what does invest mean? It has to.
Right.
What does it mean for each person? Because again,
Right.
you invest something. Even if it's a month, you have invested a month of your time to some degree.
So Uncle Frank, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? One thing I'm very big on talking to people about in dating is character, right? Character is something you cannot fake. That is who you are. That is your stamp. So what happens is when you constantly meet these people and you ask questions, like this is when you're dating, that's the question phase. I don't need to know about you, know about me. So you're asking questions, and the key things are one of the key things that you're looking for is people's consistency. See, that's part of character. Part of character is consistency. How you're moving, how you think, how do you feel about this, and and then once that continues and continues, you'll find that okay, this person kind of means what he says or she says. So character for me is a very, very big deal. But in that, all of that takes time. Time is a factor. The thing is, when you start to get in these dating phases and you have these conversations and you talk all these things, it takes time to learn somebody.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, Uncle Frank, you hit the nail on the head, and you're going to invest something, and if anything, it's time.
Yeah, I agree. Like character is very important, and even if they are, like you said, they have a representative, and you don't see the person who they really are, things slip out.
Right.
You have to be observant, and when you get that little tingling or that gut feeling, that's like you have to pay attention to that. And a lot of times, people are like, oh well, that's not so bad, but that might be just a 10% of the badness that's about to come.
Right.
And so I think you have to invest something, because to me, you have to invest something to see your return in anything.
Yes.
So, with Rock and I, even though we were friends, I would cook here and there, show him like, okay, see what I'm working with. I had to show him.
I wasn't here.
Well, I had to not bribe him, but I did. I said I would cook for him 3 times a week if he would do something.
Yeah.
So we had a little agreement, and it worked out.
But it worked out fabulously.
But I had to invest something. You're not going to get a return on anything if you're not investing yourself.
That's true.
Whatever it's time, money, whatever it is, you have to invest something to get something back.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you're just purely looking for arm candy, or you are that, you have that type of psychopathy where it just really doesn't matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Toya said, if knowing that the representative is who shows up, like, you put your best foot forward when you meet somebody and vice versa, knowing that if you still are getting that tingling, like she said, that's 10% of what is to come. Mm-hmm. So, if you're getting that in the beginning, but like you said, even that takes time, whether it's a week, a month, whatever, it's going to take time, because you're not going to see even the 10% right away. Well, you may not, like I said, unless that person is just a pure sociopath and has no kind of emotions whatsoever. Even in that first, date, 2 week, you may not see that 10% of the full picture. So you have to invest some kind of time.
You got to invest something. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I want to welcome Sean. Sean, thank you so much for watching. And again, we're doing a Q&A. You can put your question in the chat, or you can send it to the email address that's on the bottom of the screen if you want the question to be read without your name being attached to it. And for those of you who have not already done so, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And Marriage Beyond the Breach is also on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. So look for us across all of the social media platforms.
Want to go?
Yeah, we have another
question. My spouse and I are not connected on social media. I want to be, but they don't. When I ask, they say it's because we live together and already know everything about each other. How can I address this with them without coming across as a nag?
What do you say?
For me,
oh boy,
personally, it became something about, well, of course, going through the phases that we were, I was hiding stuff.
Right.
I was doing stuff I didn't want you to be privy to, so I didn't want you part of my social page.
Right.
Now,
but that has since changed.
Oh, well, of course, you got everything you will need to know.
We'll leave that part out.
But what happens is, what I started to hear once I got out of being selfish was how important it was for her to be on the page. Not that she was looking for something or anything like that.
Right.
She just wanted to feel included, even though I felt like, hey, this is my page. You got your page. I was still in that mode. This is mine. Just like the wallet thing. That's mine. Why you need to go in it without asking me? I was holding on to some things. So once I was able to let go and listen and really feel how important it was to just be hooked up on my page as a friend or to comment when I see something. And it became more important to listen to her and less important for me. So, and like I said, we had some other issues going on. I had to give up the password and all that other stuff. But based on this question, how you come across not being a nag, just talk, constantly talk, and don't come across as, well, you got to, or you're demanding. Just express your feelings and why you feel you want to be a part of it.
Well, I agree with everything you say, but I want to modify that last piece a little bit. I think, and this is what occurred with us, just an example, when there has been a betrayal, when there's been infidelity or something like that, I think at some point, and let me rephrase that, it's okay to have access to social media and passwords as a requirement for reunification, especially that if that was a mode by which the affair was carried out, you interacted with the person, that's how you got to know each other, because there's a lot of Facebook reunion affairs that occur. So I think for the purposes of reunification, it's okay to have that as a requirement, because when there's been that trust broken, and the betrayed partner can say to the other, yes, these are some of the things I need before we can come back together and before we can start to rebuild some trust. So that's just my perspective. What do you guys think?
Now, assuming that there was no affair, no betrayal, none of that, behind that question, I guess for me it would depend on connected in what way. Because some couples, they share one Facebook page, they share a Facebook name. Connected in that, are you completely blocked from this person? Are you, friends with this person? Do you share mutual friends? So I guess for me, I would just need some clarification as to what they mean by connected. I don't see any reason as to why you can't at least see each other's stuff. Like, even if, you don't have the other person's password or something, there's no reason that, you should have the other person blocked. Now, if you guys are fighting and they really piss you off that day, you just don't want to see anything they have to say. Okay, you block them for the game, whatever. But if you have somebody blocked from all social media ongoing, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah. And thank you, Jackie, for that. I appreciate that.
So I'm looking at the question that says, my spouse and I are not connected on social media.
Right.
So when you say the word connected, right? When you get married, you're connected in any and every way. So the idea that you would go on social media and you would have to hide and all of those, I see a lot in the comments, the word red, those are red flags. There's something to hide. There's something to be sneaky. Right. Marriage, it shouldn't be anything to be hidden.
Right.
You know, so, we pretty much know each other's everything. Like, she knows my passwords. I know her passwords, but I have zero desire to go and search. See, the thing is, when people do that, in a marriage or relationship, your spouse or mate are creating rips, or they're breaking their patterns that will cause people to feel like, I need to check your phone, your social media, you're doing your actions. Every day you learn their actions.
Right.
You find yourself sneaking and creeping because that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's funny because we are connected, and it's like, this is my husband, so it's marked husband,
right,
wife. Like, so I don't understand why that wouldn't be a thing. Another thing is, even though we're connected, he may tag me on something, and like 3 or 4, he's like, babe, you're not even gonna comment, and I'm like, go back, because I'm not on social media as much as I should be. And so I just feel like, as spouses, if you are married, there should be no separation or disconnect on any social media, unless you are trying to hide something. That's just how I feel.
We do, and like, see, the thing is, we discuss everything. There's nothing that we don't discuss. So, for me, like, a discussion is something that takes less than 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
After that, it becomes a nagging situation. And then it starts to put me, not me per se, but it'll start to put me in a defensive mode. And then it turns into, well, why are you being so defensive? You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of couples go through that. When your woman or your man, when your husband or your wife discusses something, how they feel, it's your duty as their partner in life to take that strongly into consideration.
Yes,
absolutely. I agree 1000%. And there's something you said earlier about consistency. Because see, we human beings are creatures of habit. And when you're married to someone in a romantic, committed relationship, you learn each other's habits. And when your partner does something that is out of the ordinary, out of character, You may say, let it go one time, but if it happens again, what you getting at? A text somebody sent you?
Just go on, baby.
Oh, no, he's watching his text messages for the football game.
I apologize. My son just sent something.
So, anywho,
but I'm here.
But when you see something that's out of character, like you said, Rock, it raises suspicion, and that's where we as women get what we call that little intuition, and sometimes that will compel you to go and look in the phone, or back in the day you would look in the wallet or something like that. You know, men don't carry numbers around in the wallets anymore because they got the phone, but back in the day it used to be a little slip of paper in the wallet or a piece of a matchbook or something to that effect. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
We get those little intuitions too. You know, now women are cheating as much as men now.
Just as men, yeah.
So when men, I was telling men again, when you pay attention to your mate and their character, you kind of know when things are starting to change.
Right.
Very easily. And you don't need no crystal ball. You just like, oh yeah, If she started laughing and giggling a little more, and you ain't that funny. Yeah, you're right.
So right. So we had another question that someone sent in to me, babe. What was it?
Okay. We had this talk too. My spouse does not post any pictures of me or us on social media. Is that something I should be concerned about? I'm going to jump right on that because we've had this conversation a lot of times. I would say no right off the bat because, again, and my no is I wasn't one to post a lot of pictures about anybody on social media. I look at stuff, I receive stuff, so I wasn't posting anything. So, we would have this conversation. You don't post me. And again, initially I got defended. I got defensive. Why? I don't do that. That would be my response. I don't do that. Why are you getting on me? So what? So you do it, because she would do it. I said almost all the pictures about anything about us, Val posted. That's your thing. That's what she likes to do.
Right.
Don't get mad at me because I'm not posting pictures of us. But I say that, and also goes back to when I had said, you listen and you find out what becomes important. How important is it? How important is it for me to keep saying I don't do that because that's just me, or listen to how important it is for her? And that's something she wants me to do that would make her feel whatever. I still might never understand it. But if that's going to put a smile on your face, every once in a while I got a picture, I'll just post it. It don't take long, especially once I got the hang of it. Don't take long to do it.
Okay. I got something to say about what you just said.
Go ahead.
This is something I am just going to caution married partners, dating partners, committed relationship partners. I'm going to caution against. If your spouse says something to you and your response is, well, I don't do this for anybody. Please don't say that, because your spouse is not anybody.
Okay. Okay.
So I
get what you're saying. Right,
caution
okay.
against that. So now you want to change your words?
you kind of change it. You kind of change
it for you.
Okay. But again, it came down to end this for me. It just came down to, again, listening and understanding. It may not be important to you, Frank, but at the end of the day, how important is it? It's important for your spouse. It's important for your wife. So what does it hurt?
Well, I think had we not had some of the issues in our relationship that we did, that issue, that posting of the pictures of us or me would not have been such a big issue. But given that there was the time we were separated, and remember, I was going to post a picture of us.
I don't. Go ahead.
Remember, because we were out with
some things I try to forget for sure.
Yeah, well, I ain't forget.
What? Go ahead. No, tell me what.
So anywho, we had taken the couple we were out with was getting ready to take a picture of us.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, no, man, man, don't take our picture. I was hot as a firecracker. I cussed him up one side and down the other because I knew why he didn't want that picture taken. I know we're telling a lot of our business tonight, but it's okay because there's some other couples that may be dealing with this.
Mm.
We were separated at the time, but we were still going out on dates with one another. And Frank didn't want the picture posted because the chick he was having an affair with would have seen the picture, and he was telling her that we weren't having anything to do with each other anymore. So the boy was lying. He didn't want to get caught in a lie. That was the bottom line. So once we reconciled,
I definitely did not want pictures of me.
No, he did not.
posted
He did not.
Anywhere.
But see, once we reconciled, and when he was not posting any pictures of us, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, is that still the situation?
Mm-mm.
Why does he not post pictures of us now that we are back together? And he's saying that affair has ended. But like you said, we had conversations about it. And then I kind of understood where he was coming from, but I still wanted to see some of them pictures.
I post them now, y'all.
He posts now, for sure. So how would you answer?
One of the key things that I've learned in social media has a psychological background to where you are in life, right? So the things that we post or we choose to post or what we choose not to post is where we are psychologically, right?
Right.
If my wife is Halle Berry, I'm glad to post her because in society, she's this beautiful, dynamic superstar, and this that. So I'm at all at posting her if that's my wife.
Mm.
When you have these men who don't, it's kind of like I'm not feeling her.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that because I do know that a person who would not post their spouse because they were not comfortable with the way their spouse looked and thought the way their spouse looked was a reflection on them. So they wouldn't post their pictures together.
So the thing is we create these facades. Social media helps you create these facades that you want to create in your life. So if you not showing pictures of your spouse, you're showing that I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why when you look at our social media, you'll see clearly Toya's husband is, and vice versa. You see pictures. I'm very proud of who I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't put me in any position or any feeling for the people to see because, and again, when you get married, your marriage is your partner in life. It's really that simple. And if they always see Batman and never seen Robin, they like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Right.
Because people become more invested in your relationship sometimes more than you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sadell, do you have any response to that? If not, I'm going to go to Jackie's question.
No, I think you guys pretty much covered everything.
Okay,
I don't really have a response.
So,
well, before you go, what about when you hear? I guess this depends on the couples because you have some couples who don't want to post pictures and everything about their relationship because they don't want the social media in their relationship.
Yeah, but there are ways around that. And when I hear that, to me, it sounds like an excuse.
Yeah, because if you're posting your friends, if you're posting yourself bowling, you're posting your work party, you're posting the cake that you ate, then why aren't you posting your spouse?
Well, I didn't. Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, because if you're doing all that, then that begs the question: if you're posting every other aspect of your life except your spouse, that's a red flag.
Okay. It doesn't so much come to the factor of people speaking on your it's who's speaking on your relationship. So somebody you're entertaining that you don't want them to see what your current situation is.
Right.
You know, and
Mhm.
that's why I say that's why I'm telling these, people, just be honest.
Be honest.
Be honest where you are in life. You'll be very surprised at people who are willing to dance around your BS.
There are, unfortunately, absolutely. You are so right. So my sister friend Jackie has a question. Frank, you read it. What it say?
Okay. Well, I can't really read it with my contacts on, so read it for me.
What do you need? Reading glasses? I got 5 pair of reading glasses right here. Okay.
Frank, what is something that you want Valerie to do to make you happy, similar to her wanting you to post pictures? I thought that's what I read. And as I was hearing it in my head, I have to ask, how responsible is Val in making me happy? And I'm not sure. I think I have more of a responsibility to that myself, making myself happy. Now we can share the happiness together. Now, with this question, now are there things I would like Val to do that I would like? I guess it would make me happy.
Yeah, like
okay.
What? Let me hear. I want to hear this.
Shit. Well, let me give me a piece of pen and a piece of paper.
You got pen and paper.
You know what the things, and we talk about this, and it's still my biggest bugaboo.
What's that?
The interrupting.
Oh.
Definitely the interrupting.
Oh,
we
I
talk
thought it was
about
something else.
Or when we having a conversation, and I think Toya and Rock, y'all talked about when you said Toya asks you or tells you something repeatedly. When I ask Val a question, now she'll give me an answer, but I'll ask the question again, maybe 4 more times. And for me, I'm asking that question. Now, you already know what you answered, but for me, I always tell Val, look, I'm asking it 3 different ways, maybe just changing 1 or 2 words because I still, in my head, don't have clarity. So for me, I need you to exhibit the patience of Job when we're having a conversation, as opposed to getting frustrated. I tease her sometimes. I said, okay. I said, you might be talking to other people and have patience. What I need is that patience. Don't get frustrated with me. Don't turn your back on me. Hear me out till the end.
Yeah.
Even if it's 3 or 4 different times, I'm gonna ask the same question. I'm not clear yet.
Yeah.
I need clarity.
Yeah, that's what he says. But he knows he works my nerves. He works my last freaking nerve.
And Rock, like you said earlier, sometimes I do that on purpose. I know she's gonna get upset, but I'm gonna ask it again.
See, for me, for a long time, I always found myself in insecure relationships. And when the women at those times would ask me questions, they were really asking me out of feeling like they're gonna trick me into something. And so I told my wife this, before, when we were dating, I said, I hate being asked questions repeatedly. It sends like a trigger because it triggers me back to those moments where I feel like I'm being interrogated.
I'm asking you if you want
right.
No, not those questions, but like I said, I feel interrogated. You know what I'm saying? It's like a trigger, but when I know it's coming from her in a loving place, or sometimes she'd ask me, "Do I want a sandwich?" Yeah, I let it go.
Yeah, because but babe, do you want something sweet after dinner? No, I'm good. I'll come back. Do you want a piece of cake after dinner?
2 minutes later.
No, I'm good. I sit down, and then he was like, babe, do we have any more ice cream? I just asked you if you wanted something sweet.
See, in that situation, she knows you better than you know you. She knows you don't want the damn cake. Just say yes.
I haven't had ice cream this year. She talking about something a long time ago.
But he's had pastries.
But in a situation like that, she knows
and
she's been down this road before you. Eventually, the moment she sits down, hey, babe, just say yes.
I'm with you, nephew, because a lot of times, Frank, now you're going to want, nah, I'm good, babe. Nah, I'm good. Sure enough, I will let her, babe.
Yeah. Listen, we'll be in the supermarket, right? And he said, no, don't get me any sweets. Now he knows he's got a humongous sweet tooth. No, don't get me any sweet, Val, because I'm trying not to eat. I said, babe, are you sure? Let me just get, no, don't get anything. And then midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., he's scrounging around in the kitchen trying to find something sweet. And I said,
Y'all are supposed to help us with this.
I know, right? Don't listen to my nose.
Don't listen to me. Tell me to get some water.
Well, listen, sometimes I'll do that anyway. When he says no, I'll have it in the cart. And then when he comes and he's looking 2 o'clock in the morning for a sweet, he'll find it there. Oh, babe, when did you get this? I said, when you told me no.
See, that goes back to what Rock said earlier when Toya's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
But then she's going to do it anyway. See?
She's the queen of, are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Once I sit down and I start watching my TV shows or catching up on just my me time, I don't want to be disturbed. So I'm asking everybody, him, the kids, you good? You good? You good? Okay, come back again. Y'all good? And then what happens?
Here they come.
So can I say this in my defense?
Oh, here we go.
My wife is part Asian.
I am
So
not.
she'll be in the living room and she's watching her Asian movies and this and that. I have for a long time been very comfortable going to get what I like when I need to get it. My wife has made it to the point where I barely go in the kitchen. She caters to me. I must just say it. She truly caters to me to the point where now I'm spoiled.
You cannot get
Toya,
mad.
you created a monster.
I did, but you
Created
can't
a
get,
monster.
but you can't get mad if I'm clarifying to make sure you're good.
Mhm.
I have to say, baby, I'm good. I don't want anything else for the rest of the night. And then I'm
Don't
like,
listen to that.
Uncle Frank, I say those words. I'm good, babe.
Then
I'm good.
Then he asked me for some ice cream.
She'll come back 2 minutes later. You sure you don't want?
Guess what?
I'm
After
good.
this, I will not come back. I will ask you that one time, and I won't come back.
Don't say too much because I want to
October 1st.
before.
I'll let y'all know on the next show.
Mark it on the calendar.
One time.
You got a witness. You got a witness.
I got witnesses.
Okay.
Yep,
I got a
right.
couple. I'm not going to ask every question that was sent in. There's one I want to get to, and then another thing I want to bring up. Someone asked, how do you advise a couple when one has a much higher sex drive than the other?
Buy some toys.
Okay. Rock, Toya,
I
Sadell, how do y'all answer that?
truly believe in.
I can't answer that. You're my parents.
Of course you can.
Go ahead, Rock.
I truly believe in rising to the occasion. Again, I say this a lot because I truly mean this. When you go to that altar and you stand before God and you said, this is my partner in life, you have an obligation to meet your partner's needs. Well, first you should know your partner's needs before y'all get together. Once you have clarified that this person is this, that, all their likes, their don't likes, all their wants, they don't wants, everything is on the table. Now, when you're in it and you crush that threshold, everything that they require, you provide.
Absolutely.
So my wife needs me to be Mr. Marcus. Guess who I'm going to be?
Rock, how old are you?
46.
See, shit work better when you're 46 as opposed to 65.
Listen, I don't need no pills or nothing, but I heard they got pills now. I don't create no excuses. Sometimes we're both tired. Sometimes we are tired. But let me tell you something, and my wife is the same with me. If I don't care what's going on, she will be sleep, tired, whatever. She has never told me no. Ever.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And even when there's times when I know she's tired, but then, sometimes,
A little quickie will do.
you know, we get in and out, we don't watch movies, we don't do toys, but we don't do none of that stuff. You are my movie and my toy.
Yeah, like I feel like that's
I love that.
Yeah, I think that desensitizes you, especially if you don't need it. Like if you sexy thing, like you don't need it. Like
my trigger is when she puts on her fitted dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. She put on a bun and her glasses. You want to play school teacher, Yeah. It don't take much, huh? All you need is a siren.
But well, let's get back to the question.
However, more crazy.
If things change and my libido gets lower, and we have to discuss it, like what do I need to do to help us maintain a healthy sex life?
Right.
What do I need to do? What can we do? We're gonna have to try some things, because your relationship changes, you change. So 5 years, 10 years from now, we don't know, but we're going to discuss it. And like you said, your needs, you have to meet each other's needs in some way, somehow. So we just have to talk about it.
Can I say at one point, I had to take medication. I remember, I think it was for anxiety. And it again, I don't take pills. I'm naturally aroused, whatever. And it put me in a position where I could not get it up. And I panicked a little bit because I'm like, oh man, I was kind of hesitant to have that conversation with her. Now, we talk about everything. But it's something about that moment where I felt like, but I think more or less I was trying to figure it out first. And then we did have the conversation. I didn't want her to think, is it,
that it was her.
Is it me? Is it me?
Yeah,
that's a tough conversation.
Because we
for
had
any
that
male to have with himself and then to have with his spouse, partner, whatever the case is. That's a tough question to face.
Yeah, but it's necessary because avoiding it is not going to fix it. Whatever you don't address, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse because before we had that conversation, I was thinking that it was me. Well, what's wrong with me? You don't want me no more? Am I not attractive to you anymore? And so we had to have that conversation. And after we had it, of course, now it's on me to be understanding because in addition to perhaps needing some medicinal help, there has to be some physiological help from me to him.
Yeah.
That perhaps because before he could just look at me and get an erection. That don't work no more.
I said, listen, Val, I'm not 20. You can't come in the room now and say, "Are you ready, honey?"
No, I
get ready.
Say, I'm ready.
Right. I said, take a little extra time, to get the motor running. Some days is not as bad as other days, but don't act like I'm 25 anymore and say, "Come on, baby, let's go." No, baby.
Yes,
no.
yes.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and Toya kind of hit the nail on the head when she said, things change. Maybe it's a situation where the person gain weight and they don't feel attracted with themselves anymore, so they don't want to put themselves in that position. I mean, barring any kind of physical or physiological change, something like that is something that I would imagine from the door. Like that you don't have a high sex drive. That your partner does. Again, barring any kind of major physical change or change in like medication, change in maybe lost a limb or something major happening. That's something that ideally you should know from the door and address it from the door. Right. Now again, if the longer you're with somebody, things change, bodies change, you need medication, you don't need medication, then yes, that's something that should be up for discussion. A discussion has to happen.
Yeah,
it has to.
Because like with the weight gain, like your partner may still think, okay, you gained 30 pounds, but that's more cushion for the pushing. However, you that's carrying the 30 pounds are now like, I feel this, I feel that. So even in that, there has to be some sort of discussion as to, okay, I have all this extra weight. This is how I'm feeling. Maybe take an extra step from, you know, A to C, don't skip over B to make, you know, to get me there because I have this extra. But again, that's a major change.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I agree.
I'll piggyback just off the question just really quickly,
Mhm.
just really thinking, because I had a client who had this issue. It wasn't that his sex drive was more and hers was less. It was really based off what love is and what attraction is.
Mm,
Right?
mhm.
Backing off what Sadell said, you know, you get with someone, you get in these relationships, you become comfortable, right? So myself and my wife both gained a little weight. We gained happy weight. You know what I'm saying? And here it is, you have like these 20 and, you know, 25 pounds. And it me, you know, your spouse, it doesn't, and my spouse, it definitely don't bother me. But when you have someone who has gained 100 pounds, 150 pounds, and she did not understand why he was feeling the way he felt. He's supposed to love me. And I said, well, there's a difference between love
and attraction.
Right.
That's a great point. That is an absolute great point. Sit tight for a minute. I got this one.
Okay, go ahead, babe.
I didn't, this was not a question that was sent in, but it's been a topic of conversation. Are you guys familiar with what Tyler Perry said about women and the man paying the light bill? Well, I'm gonna try to share it. Give me a minute, because y'all know me and technology. Wait a minute. I know there's a way to share something on here. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. I should have done this ahead of time. I did this once before. I know I shared something on here before.
You did.
I know. General audio, blah, 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 blah.
You know,
blah.
next time you have to share something, maybe we should do a practice run first.
Yeah, perhaps we should. Okay.
I can paraphrase.
Well, anyway, Rock, are you able to summarize it?
Yeah, basically he was saying he was initiating that women should, you know, be interested in dating men who made less money than women today. Women today are at record numbers, are demanding higher salaries, higher education, and he was basically explaining that, you know, because a man may make less than you, you should be interested in dating that man. And you know, a number of women disagreed, some agreed. It was really up and on.
One of the things he said is that if you're with a man, he's not talking about some POS man, but a man who loves and cares for you and honors you and respects you, but he doesn't have the money to contribute financially. And let's say he's only paying the gas bill. He was indicating that women should be okay with that. So I have kind of mixed feelings about it, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I want to say that I don't feel that a man has to make what you make or more than what you make, because every relationship is not based just on finances. There are women in relationships with men who are millionaires, billionaires, and they're treated like crap. So I don't think that dynamic works for everyone. I do have to say that it depends on what that person needs.
Excuse me.
You know, we talk about love language and things like that, and that woman's love language might be, I want gifts. I want to travel. I want you to take me out. I want you to wine and dine me. If that's one of her love languages, then a man like that probably will not work for her.
Right.
However, if this man is a nurturing man, he could stay with the children while you have your career. He's still your protector. He's still manly. Then I don't see a problem with it. It depends on, you know, the person and what they need.
I also think it depends on where you are yourself in life. Like if you ride in the struggle bus, chances are you're not going to look for somebody to get on that bus with you. Now, if you can maintain life and yourself on your own comfortably with or without this person, that's a different story. Then you can, okay, they don't have to make as much as I do or more than I do because I know I'm good by myself. So, you know, that's a different story. But if you can barely keep the lights on, chances are you're not going to look for somebody, okay, well, they can barely keep the lights on, so let's sit in the dark together. You know, chances are that's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there's a facade that's going on in today's time. Women and men are broke.
Yes.
Especially if you live in New York.
Everybody broke.
Everybody broke.
Everybody is broke. Everybody is broke. Now, what your level of broke is, yo, me and Toya are a good broke. We are a good broke. We are broke enough that, God forbid, if things, you know, we won't have to be outside of our home within a year. Everybody can afford that luxury. That's a luxury. So I just gotta get that out there. Like, we live in New York City.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Extremely expensive here. I have friends who literally have millions in the bank, and they will tell you they are struggling. And then people like, well, what do you mean if you have $1 million in the bank? $1 million in New York is nothing. Not when you got a wife and kids and a home. And vehicles and health insurance and all these things. It's not realistic
$1,500 iPhones
for people to, you know, try to balance out. Oh, I make more, you make more, blah blah blah. Let's put this together.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. My wife literally right now is in a couple of deals where she potentially will, I'm saying will, not can, will make more than me. I support it. I support it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel diminished as a man because I'm still going to do what I do, still going to protect, still going to secure, still going to make sure we have, still going to make sure we eat. So that doesn't diminish anything. She's adding to the pot.
That's right.
If she makes millions, that's just more for me.
That's a fact.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I think, and I don't think as many women would have as much of a problem with it if they were not hearing negative comments from other women, from the peanut gallery, from the so-called Amen corner. Because what it comes down to is what works for that couple. That's no different than, let's say, if the man is a stay-at-home husband who takes care of the children. That is still a contribution. So I think it comes down to whatever is going to whatever is going to work for them. But that's why I think a few episodes back, Rock, you said you got to keep people out your business.
You got to keep your business.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't need. Why do they need to know how much he's making? Why?
Exactly.
Like, no, that's no one's business.
I'm gonna tell y'all now, people, and I'm pretty. Some on this lot, people think that we're rich when they see us. You know, they see our sneakers, they see the vehicle we drive, they see all these, but all those things cost. And there are things in like right now, I tell people, and just so they can get a real good idea of where we are, I can buy a Lamborghini. I can't afford it.
See? A lot of people don't think that way.
They don't understand that.
They don't understand the maintenance, the upkeep, all that comes with that.
I can go to the store. I can go in a lot. I can say, I want that Lamborghini right there and drive off the lot with it. But God forbid, if something happened to that car, I'm finished.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I'm going to pause you for a second because the Cookie Man, you want to go, right?
Yeah. Well, you'd have to say it like that. You put it on me.
No, he's here writing me notes like you know how when you're in school and you try to write a note and pass it to your classmates so the teacher don't see it.
We understand.
But I just wanted to I want to acknowledge Adrena. Thank you for watching, and my sister friend Aisha. Thank you so much, and thank you for your comments. This has been a wonderful, wonderful discussion. And as always, the time does pass by
Yeah, I
so
looked at the
so quickly.
Yeah.
And those who are on, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, Marriage Beyond the Breach. You can also find us on Instagram and on Facebook. So be on the lookout. Next week we're going to be talking about having difficult conversations. We kind of touched on it a little bit tonight, but next week we're going to talk some more in depth about having difficult conversations, because if you're in a relationship, at some point you're going to have them. So we're going to talk about how to navigate that. So I definitely want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here tonight. If you're watching this at a later date, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate.
Wait, real quick.
Ahead, baby.
I remember when you first started all of this, the whole thing was like, well, how are we going to talk for an hour? What are we going to feel for an hour? Now we're at the point where it's an hour and a half in. And it's like, all right, we got to cut this. Like, like, look how far you've come. In the beginning, it was like, damn, what are we going to talk about for a whole hour? And now it's an hour and a half. And it's like, all right, y'all, that's enough talking. We got to go now.
When the conversations are great, sometimes you just got to let it flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And we'll have more Q&A segments.
20 years later, but we still good.
That's right.
That's right. 20 years. God bless you, baby. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. I don't know when your anniversary is, but happy. So I'll see you all next week. Make sure you tune in. Thank you again. I love you.
See you later, family.
Love you guys.
All righty.
Bye.
You good, Cookie Man?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, there we go. I got to